I'm very glad Jonathan Frakes will be a big part of Star Trek's next two shows. Few figures in Star Trek's long and winding history have been as versatile, enduring, and beloved as Jonathan Frakes. From his iconic portrayal of Commander William Riker on Star Trek, The Next Generation, to his crucial behind-the-camera contributions to modern Trek, Frakes has worn many hats across the decades and worn them exceptionally well. That's why the recent confirmation that he'll have a significant role in Star Trek's next two shows has sent a ripple of joy across fandom. Not only is it a testament to Frakes' legacy, but it also signals a hopeful future for the franchise as it boldly continues into its next era. A legacy built on trust, talent, and beard swagger. When Frakes first appeared on Star Trek, The Next Generation in 1987, few could have predicted just how central he would become, not just to that series, but to Star Trek as a whole. His portrayal of Riker evolved from a slightly rigid first officer into a confident, charismatic, and deeply principled leader, often considered the spiritual successor to Captain Kirk's archetype, albeit with his own flair. The famous Riker lean, Riker maneuver, and of course, Riker's beard, became part of Trek legend. But more than the memes and mannerisms, Riker represented something solid: the trusted right hand, the loyal second-in-command who could take charge when needed but always knew how to support those around him. He embodied the best of Starfleet's ideals: courage, empathy, loyalty, and through it all, Frakes brought charm, humor, and emotional depth to the role. But it wasn't just in front of the camera that Frakes made his mark. From actor to architect, Frakes the director, Frakes didn't just act in Star Trek, he helped shape it. He began directing episodes of TNG during its third season, quickly establishing himself as one of the most reliable and skilled directors in the Trek stable. His grasp of pacing, tone, and character-driven storytelling made him a go-to-name behind the scenes. This eventually led to him directing two of the TNG feature films, Star Trek: First Contact and Star Trek: Insurrection. While opinions on Insurrection are mixed, First Contact is widely hailed as one of the best Trek films, arguably second only to The Wrath of Khan for many fans. It was darker, more action-oriented, but still deeply philosophical, and Frakes' direction was key to balancing those elements. Since then, Frakes has become a consistent force in modern Star Trek television. He has directed episodes of Discovery, Picard, and Strange New Worlds, helping to set the tone and visual language of this new golden age of Trek. His involvement has lent continuity, experience, and a sense of trustworthiness to the modern era, and it's no exaggeration to say that he's become something of a creative godfather within the franchise. The confirmation: Frakes' next two Star Trek projects. Which brings us to the exciting news that Frakes will play a major role in two of the next Star Trek shows currently in development. One is expected to be the long-rumored Star Trek Legacy, the spiritual sequel to Picard that follows characters like Captain Seven of Nine, Raffi Musiker, and hopefully Jack Crusher and other next-generation alumni. The other, while still under wraps, is reportedly a new series that explores unexplored corners of the post-Nemesis timeline, perhaps even focusing on Starfleet intelligence or the rebuilding of the Romulan diaspora. While his exact role in these shows is still being kept secret, reports indicate that Frakes will both direct multiple episodes and appear as Riker in a recurring or guest capacity. For fans who grew up with TNG, who followed Picard, and who cherish the franchise's sense of legacy and continuity, this is incredibly welcome news. Why Frakes matters so much right now? There's a lot to be excited about in the modern Star Trek landscape: new characters, fresh storytelling, boundary-pushing aesthetics, but one thing that keeps fans coming back is legacy. Not nostalgia, but legacy, the careful, respectful weaving of past, present, and future into a coherent whole. Frakes is the embodiment of that principle. He bridges generations. Fans of TNG see him as a familiar face and a reassuring presence, while new fans who are introduced to Star Trek through Discovery or Strange New Worlds still get to experience his work through direction or guest appearances. His style is classic, but not outdated, his instincts trustworthy, and his presence never feels like a gimmick. Moreover, Frakes has become a sort of Star Trek ambassador behind the scenes. He's been vocal in his support of inclusive casting, new storytelling methods, and the importance of emotional honesty in science fiction. In an age where franchises can sometimes feel overrun with corporate mandates or creative stagnation, having someone like Frakes, who genuinely loves this universe, at the helm makes a huge difference. Riker's evolution and what it means for the future. One of the most exciting things about Frakes' continued involvement is that it allows for further exploration of William Riker's character. In Picard, we saw a version of Riker who had moved beyond the captain's chair, settled into a quiet life with Deanna Troi, and dealt with the grief of losing a child. It was a mature, grounded portrayal that deepened the character in meaningful ways. If Star Trek Legacy indeed picks up with Riker in some capacity, there's room to further explore what it means to be an aging Starfleet veteran in a changing galaxy. How does Riker fit into a new generation of officers who are dealing with crises he never faced? What wisdom can he pass on? What regrets still linger? There's also the tantalizing possibility of more interaction between Riker and characters like Seven of Nine, whom he barely knew during TNG, or Raffi, whose ideology might challenge his more traditional Starfleet values. A Riker who serves as a mentor figure, similar to how Picard was in his own series, could bring a whole new dimension to his legacy. The fan favorite factor. It's no exaggeration to say that Frakes is one of the most universally loved figures in Star Trek. He's famously warm and gracious at conventions, endlessly supportive of his co-stars, and always game for a good laugh. Just search for his blooper reels or the now iconic, beyond belief, fact or fiction memes to see his comedic side. That fan goodwill matters, especially at a time when franchises are increasingly scrutinized and online discourse can turn sour quickly. Frakes is a unifier. His presence reassures longtime fans that the heart of Star Trek remains intact. It signals that the franchise respects its roots and isn't simply chasing trends. Directorial continuity in the new era. Frakes' continued work as a director also plays a crucial role in shaping Trek's tonal consistency. His episodes, whether in Discovery, Picard, or Strange New Worlds, often stand out for their balance of character development and plot momentum. He knows how to stage action without sacrificing emotional stakes, and he has a knack for drawing heartfelt performances from even the most stoic characters. As Star Trek ventures into new storytelling territory with these upcoming shows, having Frakes in the director's chair ensures that the visual and emotional language of Trek remains recognizable, even as the franchise evolves. The importance of creative stewardship. More than just continuity, Frakes represents something increasingly rare in long-running franchises: creative stewardship from within. He isn't an outsider brought in to reinterpret Star Trek, he is Star Trek. He understands its hopes and fears. His involvement isn't just beneficial, it's